Hi there, this is Big V. Welcome to Sunday night. The Prime Cure, formerly known as the Powers Call, is happening on March 29th of 2020. This is Big V. Welcome to Sunday night. The Living Arts Call was earlier today. There's two parts to that. So look for part one and part two, and the dates are up as well for the Living Arts Call. And this is Sunday night. This call started about 14 minutes ago, but they're talking about a bunch of nonsense. By the way, they're going to be talking out of Vision 3 tonight, feeling extraordinary. And plus, they're going to talk about the coronavirus, from what I understand. So, you have to judge it for yourself all. You really do. You really have to judge everything else here for yourself. So here we go. Here's Charlie. He's gonna be bitching a little bit. So listen to him. Listen to Mr. Charlie Moore bitch a little bit. Here he is.
Just hitting their stride now. The calls get better each month. It's incredible. The next one's April 11th. So it's about I think it's 2 weeks yesterday. So it's an incredible call. And again, if you have any questions about it, just give me a call. And that's 215.
I don't give no phone numbers out. That's ridiculous, giving the phone numbers out like that.
So call me if you have any questions on it. Karen's on it every month. Juanita's there, and a lot of newer people are on there, and they're just Kathy and Fred, who said hi tonight, they're just loving it. So it really does work. So if you have any questions on it, just give me a call. And at this point, let me just get Mr. Tim up here, because he's going to be singing his song, or maybe another new one. I don't know. Every week he surprises us anymore. Hey, Tim, how are you?
It's going to be beautiful.
Thank you. Doing fine, Charlie. How about yourself?
Good.
Yeah, it's interesting times we're living in, but it's important to remember that they'll pass, and we can outlast them. And
Yeah.
that's what we're all here for anyway, right? This will be an interesting
Good.
call, I'm sure. Let's do the song. So thanks for calling in. We have a lot to do today. We want to make you think and maybe smile along the way. Because in this world there's much we're going through. And we don't want the pain to stay with you. Now we've done some power thinking, there's so much we want to do. We hope you see the value, we hope you see it through. This life can be worth loving forever and a day. There's just some of this world we have to change. So you're rejoicing with your lover in the summer of your love. Yeah, this can happen daily, less won't have to be enough. We want to write a storybook with you and find the cure for what you used to choose. Because it doesn't matter what I say, or how much I claim it's true, how many pretty words I write, or how much I promise you, how many dreams I dream, how much I share them all with you. An idea has no power till it's used. You'll know how much I care from what I do. So we're glad you made the call and you'd stop to hear a song. We want to change the world and want you to come along to where your partners are your friends and goodwill is what you feel. Where love's the labor all of us will see. Where you get to live your essence and truly live your dream.
Thank you, Tim. Extraordinary song. But you had to feel extraordinary when you wrote it. So it just goes hand in hand with everything. But thank you.
Thank you. It's your essence. Got to do your essence, you know?
Got to do your essence,
Yeah.
and that's what makes it extraordinary. Let's get Kay up here, because Kay has a presentation that she was supposed to do last week, but I cut her off because we did a whole different anyway, Kay, how are you tonight?
I'm pretty good, Charlie, and you and Karen, you both sound great, and so did Tim. I always enjoyed his singing. Yeah.
So what do you got for us tonight?
Okay, I lost the title of what I am doing, but anyway, I have the message. As you know, suppressed emotions never go away. They actually grow and build up inside you, creating a variety of stress-related problems. If you make meditation a part of your daily routine, you will raise your tolerance levels so that they are safely greater than those of the demands surrounding you. This is an extraordinary concept which works amazingly. Think in terms of a river bursting its banks. Too much rainfall has exceeded the river's bed's maximum capabilities. The water floods the surrounding landscape until finally the rain stops and the water levels can eventually recede and go back to normal. If the banks are not widened, however, then the same situation is likely to occur time and time again. Those trigger points which threaten our lower tolerance levels will continue to do so, and like a vicious cycle, this trend will persist as life continues to grow ever more hectic. Our behaviors then become increasingly erratic, and we dip in and out of old negative patterns to help us cope with the increase in stress. Will these constant demands and an inability to cope still be apparent 1 year from now? 5 years on, and the situation could be worse. If tolerance levels have not increased, the pressure of our lives may well have. 10 or 20 years from now, will things have improved? Only if we have taken time to change our existing mindset and have learned techniques which will help us to deal with the pressures of life. Our ability to reevaluate and to emerge with new higher tolerance levels means that we can avoid this constant barrage of negative stimuli from affecting us in the same way ever again. By learning meditation, we can turn our attention inwards and release our inner observer who can step between our rising levels of emotions and the actual cause of the problem. We can then learn to stop resisting and fighting against this threat and simply observe as if from a distance, the picture playing out as if in slow motion. When we have learned the technique of observing ourselves, and we can avoid the preset behavioral patterns and form new, healthier ones. Meditation can help us to not worry about every possible scenario. We learn to let go of negative thoughts by having increased control over our minds. If we are not careful, the negative thoughts we send out can sum up our worst fears in tangible form. By letting go of our fears, we also learn that the old adage, there is nothing to fear, but fear itself, is so accurate. Today, I am looking within and placing my trust in the invisible, unlimited, and opulent power behind all forms of life. I am aligning my thoughts, beliefs, emotions, and imagination with this power for love, health, and wealth. The outer world is a reflection of my inner world of imagination, thought, emotions, and beliefs. Today I cease believing that money or any person, place, organization, or thing is the source of my supply. My supply comes through my awareness of the universal presence of love and intelligence that is available to everyone. My love and passion for my purpose and mission is growing stronger each day and I am joyously engaged in my right livelihood. I am being warmly nurtured and abundantly bestowed with all the riches of the inner and outer world. Surrendering into peace and appreciation, I know that this and every moment is full and overflowing with spiritual and material riches. All the time, money, energy, and love that I need to live a beautiful, meaningful, abundant, happy life is continuously flowing to me, through me, and around me. And so it is. I am sending each and every one of you energy right now. You need to sit, relax, close your eyes, and take a deep breath and let it out. Take another deep breath and let it out. One more deep breath. Put the attention on the top of your head, the place that was soft before the age of 2. See the spot on your head open so a refined golden light can enter your body. See a beautiful ball of light about 6 inches above your head entering your body, clearing your mind and body. Quiet your mind by wrapping any thought with love and send it on its way. The light continues to come down into your body. See it in your throat, then down to your heart. See your heart receptive to this light energy. Now allow it to go down to your torso. The light energy continues to move down into your hips, the base of your spine, and into your legs and feet. Return your focus to the top of your head. See this light caressing your entire body. Feel the streams of well-being that comes from the top of your head, going all through your body, connecting with your divine being. Your thoughts are calm and centered. Your true essence is that of well-being. As you allow your body to become still, bring your attention to the fact that you are breathing. Become aware of the movement of your breath as it comes into your body and as it leaves your body. Not manipulating the breath in any way or trying to change it. Simply being aware of it and the feeling associated with breathing. Use your breath to help you tune into a state of relaxed awareness and stillness. Bring yourself to mind now and see if you can offer loving kindness to yourself by letting these words become your words. May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I ride the waves of my life. May I live in peace, no matter what I am given. Reflect upon the experience of meditation. Notice what it was like. Notice how you feel now, free from worries about how well you did, knowing that whatever happened was the correct and natural response. Wiggle your fingers and toes. Roll your shoulders. Stretch if you like. And when you are ready, continue with the rest of your day. Back to you, Charlie and Karen.
Thank you, Kay. I'm going to let Karen take the lead on this one since she's flying high from her last meditation. So go ahead, Karen.
All right.
I had perfect visualization of the river floating over the bank into the fields today, because when I went up to the lake to do my hiking, the Black River was about probably 3 rows of trees away. The river had flooded 3 fields over its banks. There was on the Wiggly Road up to the lake, there was a house that it was on stilts, fortunately, but their whole front yard was river, and they would park next to the road and get in their boat to go to their house. It wasn't that far away, but it was an amazing way to live. But I had that perfect visualization of the river flooding over the banks, and And every time that we get a ton of rain, or Missouri or up north gets a ton of rain, our rivers, a lot of them flood. I'm lucky around here because we have levees that keep the St. Francis River from us. They have levee wars, and so sometimes people have to camp on the banks to make sure nobody sneaks over on one side or the other to blow the levee, so that one side gets all the water and the other side is saved. It's a very interesting way to do it. They do it on the Mississippi River too when it floods. But I can see the meditation. I can see the suppressed emotions flooding up and over, and then I can see the meditation shoring up the levees, and even camping out on the levees and protecting us and keeping us safe from the suppressed emotions, and even taming those suppressed emotions. So that was an amazing visualization for me as far as the emotions and the meditations and what meditations actually do. So thank you, Kay. That was awesome.
That was very interesting. I'm glad you shared that with us.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
if nothing else, when you do meditate, it will help you release a lot of things that we all hold inside of us for reasons
Yeah.
that, when we really think about it, are pretty stupid. But it's what we do. It's how we were raised. It's you're not supposed to show them. Because if you think about emotions, basically, it's real simple. And I learned this all from Neo thing. There's no bad emotions. It's what we do with that emotion that makes it good or bad.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, sometimes I have a temper. But when I get angry, which doesn't happen obviously as much as it used to, but I take that energy and I use it as a motivator to get me back on track, or to get me to think more, or whatever. So you can take something like anger doesn't have to mean it's always bad. Because things are going to upset us. It's the way the world is. But it's what you do with that anger. It's what you do with any emotions.
Right.
Okay. Thank you, Kay. It's always a good reminder on that one.
I have learned to flow with things.
Yeah. It helps you do that.
Yes.
Definitely. There's always ways around things. And that's what we're going to be talking about tonight anyway. So,
Okay, very
yeah.
good.
Yeah. Thank you. All right. As I said in the beginning of the call, I was thinking about, I was thinking we got to talk about something on a good note, not because over here now is bad news, even worse than normal. It is a strain to go. Let's face it. Nobody has ever gone through this before in the history of this planet. To go through something like this. So it is scary. It can be scary, and obviously they're trying to make you scary. So, but how do we get through this? You have to take any situation that comes into your life, whether it's positive or negative, and use it to help motivate you, to help you feel better. And we have to start, feeling extraordinary. That's what Neothink does. If you're not feeling extraordinary after you read this literature, something's missing. If you're not feeling extraordinary after you get off a call, something's missing. You still have too much of the AC in you. You're still thinking too much with your bicameral mind. You're letting the outside, this AC world, take control. And they're really taking control now. And and that can be scary. So how do we get through this? Well, there's a million different ways. Just reading the literature every day. Now, some of you might be out of work right now because of this. So right now you might have more time on your hands. So if you have this time, take advantage of it. Definitely. Read more. And now I know some people here who are off and they don't know what to do with themselves, and they got very creative, and they're reading the books more. They're writing articles now. I'm anxious to hear from one person here who says that she's almost done working on her material, and I'm really anxious to read it because she's really plugging in. But she says this is, she says that I normally don't have this time, but I know she's feeling extraordinary. It's the attitude that you choose. It's your life. You got to make the decisions for you, not anyone else. And yet, there's some days here that I'm human like the rest of us, and I make my mistakes, and there's no way am I perfect human being or will ever be. But there were some days these past couple weeks where I wasn't my finest, Yesterday was one. I was just having a tough, the weather was bad. These are no excuses, but I let them be excuses yesterday. And I finally snapped out of it today. It was just the one day. I said, that's all right. I'll take a day off, once in a while. Sometimes you just got to get your mind straight. And I got back today, and this morning I sat and I meditated for about, I think that meditation was like 18 minutes. And when I come out of it, I was had a nice suntan because I was sitting on the beach, and the waves were rolling in the background, and I just felt really good. And but as I was thinking about all this, when I come out of a meditation, when I do it in the mornings, I usually feel pretty good, and I'm trying to hit that goal of extraordinary, because that's what Neothink's all about. It's about us doing what we want to do, doing our essence, not letting the forces of nature take over. And I tell you, the forces of nature have never been stronger than they are right now. So it's a battle every day. It's not watching the news all day long and watching that body count go up by the minute. That's not going to help you. Yes, we know a lot more people probably will die before this thing is over. All right, so you got to feel extraordinary for a lot of different reasons. Of course, you want to live, you want to have a productive and a creative life, and you want to help other people, and you can't do that being dead. And you can't do that if you're not extraordinary. So it's up to you in the morning. When you have a choice when you get up in the morning, and even before your feet hit the floor, you should feel extraordinary because you have this information, because you're using it, and you're learning from it. We have to feel exhilarated all day. It was funny. I was looking through something on the internet yesterday, and it had a whole bunch of old photographs of some famous people, but most of it was just pictures of like older pictures, and and it just brought you back to that time, And then they had this one, and it was like it was almost like one of those books you have with the dates on it and the times. In fact, it's like a book that I have for my mini day schedule. And it was something like that. And what it was, basically, it was a mini day schedule from Benjamin Franklin. And he only had maybe 5 or 6 entries in there, but it was absolutely pretty cut. It was, you could tell he was a neo-thinker. In the morning, he had it in the morning where he got up and he washed and all that stuff. All the personal things that we do in the mornings. But then he also had, like on the left side of the page, he had a questionnaire. It was something like, what am I going to do today to feel good? Something like that he had. I said, that's kind of a good question to ask yourself in the morning. And then he had like about 10 o'clock, he had like work. And then he had that about like 2 or 3 o'clock, he had work again. And then at night, he would take an inventory of the day. Gee, where did you hear that before? So I thought that was kind of cool. Ben Franklin thought like I do. This is kind of cool. Because I try to take an inventory every day at the end of the day. And he had on there things like, what did I do to help someone? He had like 3 or 4 questions there to remind him that he had a good day today. So I thought that was pretty fascinating. And if you're not doing a mini day schedule, and if you have extra time on your hands now what's your excuse not to do it? We got to stop using excuses here, because that's all the AC world wants you to do. That's what the forces of nature is all about. Us just making excuses for everything. But I'll tell you, if you put a good mini day schedule together and you make that commitment to stick with it, you think you're going to not feel extraordinary then? It's a great feeling when you close the day at the end of the day and you lay in bed and you say, man, I'm feeling extraordinary. I'm feeling good. And how many people can say that at the end of the day? Especially the days that we're having lately. We have to start using our motivation. We have to start motivating ourselves. You didn't come here not to feel extraordinary. You didn't come here to fail. You had all that before you got here, because we all failed a million times. That's why we're here. But we were searchers and seekers, and that's why we're here. So now you found it. Now you found what you were looking for your whole life. So let's all take advantage of that. And we're at our own pace, so don't worry about if somebody's moving faster than you. Just keep moving. Because it does hit you. It's funny now, because obviously, most of us are staying home all day, and that's fine with me. Sometimes I get a little cabin fever, but this morning I had to get back there. I'm staying at a different place in my apartment right now down the shore, and I had to get down there because I hadn't been down there since last Saturday, and I had to get my mail and and a few things. So as I'm driving down and I'm going past all these businesses, all these storefront businesses in these small towns around here, and the ride down to the shore is about an hour. And today was it really hit me today more than any other time. They were all closed. Traffic was nothing. And I'm thinking, if all the money is being lost here, all the people out of jobs, we aren't being creative. We aren't doing our business anymore. And that's an incredibly sad feeling. I just, your heart goes out to these people. It's unbelievable, because most businesses in this country are small business. And that's the backbone of America, is these small businesses. And, just because somebody owns a business doesn't mean that they're a millionaire or a billionaire. Forget it. Most of them are just getting by like we are. But they were independent enough and they were integrated enough to start their own business. So you have to, so my heart was going, I'm just driving down the road here. I'm saying, man, look at these places just all empty. So when you look at that, and I'm thinking, I'm so grateful that I have Neothink in my life. And I feel that way every day. And I want to give you an example of how that really works. I think it was Thursday morning, if I'm not mistaken. Sage Katakura called me. Now, we don't talk we talk maybe once or twice a month without talking about everything else that we're doing, especially about the summits and things like that. So he called up and he says, I can't come on the call tonight. I said, that's fine, Sage, because that's going to be my last announcement that our summit was postponed until September. The one that we were going to have in Chicago in like 2 weeks from now. And that's still upsetting that we're not going to have it, but that's the way it goes. So I said, Sage, let me just run something by you. I said, it's been floating in my head for a couple of days here. And he didn't want to talk long because I could tell he was on his way to work. He says, yeah. He says, go ahead, man. So I started talking, and I was running by him. I said, Sage, I think we need to do something that can be done on the internet. Something like a Clubhouse forum, or just something that we can get people together, maybe like once every quarter, and we can get them on the computer, and we can, and we were throwing things back and forth, and not exactly sure how we were going to do all this, but it was just the idea that I had, and he hopped on it right away. These are the kind of conversations that you can have when you reach out, believe me. So we talked about another 10, 15 minutes. I said, I know you got to go. He said, Jay, I'd rather sit here and talk this, and then go, but his business is, he's trying to keep his business together with the virus thing. So this morning we just, so on Thursday we said, well, we have to get the committee together, because usually it's just me, Sage, and Larry Johnson. But then we had 4 ladies help us out this year for the summit, and we wanted them included in this also. So we got an email out to everybody and said, come on the call, because we were going to only do these calls on Sundays, like once a month, but we wanted to talk about this. So we laid it out with them, and everybody was very fine with it, So we'll have hopefully next Sunday we'll have a major announcement about this, if not probably the following. It's coming soon, but we have something else that we are planning that should help all of our members. And I'm thinking, how can you not feel extraordinary when you're reaching out and thinking of new ways to help people? Now, I know I feel extraordinary every day when I talk to people on the phone all day, and then when I have a call at night, and I feel this, and it's a great feeling. When people call you up or people send you an email and they're thanking you for helping them, or they're thanking you for doing something, or helping them solve a problem or something, and they're very grateful. That's what this is all about. How can you not feel extraordinary? So all of these things add up, and this is all in the midst of our worst things that we ever had to go through in our life. So as we go through these days, we have to stop listening to the forces of nature. We have to stop doing all of these things that we have been doing and start concentrating on us. And that's what we have to do. It's just something that is okay. And my whole computer just went down, so now I'm trying to build it back up here as fast as I can. But these are the things that we need for your own self, not for anybody else, but you need to move forward every day. No matter some days, if it's really hard some days, then just take a baby step. And some days maybe you'll make 3 baby steps. Or maybe one day you have one big step, and that'd be even a greater day. But the goal here is to continue to keep moving. And I was talking to my sister today, which I don't talk to too often, but she called today, we were talking, and she's like 4 years younger than me, but her husband is like 15 years older than she is. So he's in fact, he's almost 10 years older than I am to the day, just about. So I'm 69, he's 79, and he's been an attorney his whole life. He still practices, not as much as he used to. He's a great guy, he really is. But my sister Mary said he's starting to, she says, I think he's starting to feel his age, and he never did that before. And I can relate to that with the physical ailments I've had this past year. And she says now he's sitting, and he's not getting up. He's just sitting a lot, and he never did that. So he's starting to. I don't know if he's starting to go downhill that much, but he's just feeling. And this is the sad part of this AC world. I mean, he's one of the most fascinating men I've ever met in my life. He's a defense attorney, and you don't expect these people to be too nice. But he has like this heart of gold, and he really tries to help these people as much as he can. And he does a lot of things outside of the courtroom that just makes him. He's the kind of guy that you have to like when you meet him. He just has that personality. And to see him starting to fade a little bit is very upsetting. And I went through a struggle like that back in October.
Sounds like the society is going to imitate what I do on social media on Wednesday mornings. Isn't that interesting? They're going to copy what I do on Wednesday mornings. Huh, that's interesting.
And it was the first time in my life that I felt old. never hit me before because I've been pretty healthy my whole life. It was just before I turned 69, and I just sat there, and it just hit me. It just surrounded me like a, I don't know, this moving thing came on. It just rested on my shoulders, and I couldn't shake it for a while. And then I said, I can't. I said, I can't accept this. I'm not, you know. But I felt it at that moment because I couldn't get out of the chair without this extra effort because the body just wasn't healing yet. And it made me just feel old. And I never felt that before. And I said, all right, I got it. I got to do something about this today. And so now I don't feel, I'm not saying that I feel like I used to about feeling older, but I'm getting back to that old self. But it's taken me a while because the body is 98% there, but it's still not there yet. And I don't know if it ever will be. And that's okay if it's not, but I got to accept it and just keep moving forward. And some days it is a struggle, more than it has been in the past. But it's the attitude, and it's that mental, that tough mentalness that we have. It's that integrated thinking that we have to say, I can get past this, and I know I will. What do I have to do? And the answer is right here in the books. It's in this literature. We have no idea. I know some of you are fairly new. You don't understand it yet, but you have no idea where you're sitting on. And a lot of people here don't know what you're actually absolutely sitting on here. It's something that's absolutely incredible because there's nothing out there like this. Nothing. Not even in the same ballpark. It's just, this is something that will make you feel extraordinary. And with that, I'm going to pass it over to Karen and get her thoughts.
That was awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you. Wow, extraordinary. Just amazing how this hypnosis meditation thing I did just it runs around extraordinary all over the place.
Yeah.